It is that time of year. It is actually at this time of year appropriate to play this kind of music. And
Not
this
like
is
in October.
Well, not in October. And this is your weekly dose of monkey business. I am your host. This is Chris, and in the studio with me are all the usual suspects. And that's a movie I think we have to book club one of these days, by the way. But Billy is here, Tanya is here, Sherry is here, other Chris. Our associate producer's here. The Monkey Girl is here.
Hi.
Hello, Monkey Girl. And Rob and Zach are here. So we are all here, and helping us out today from the happy phone lines. Hello, Deanna.
Good afternoon, everybody. Merry Christmas.
We have not heard your voice in such a long time, hon.
I know.
Well, it's been football season and NASCAR season and everything else, and she's been working on our press releases and everything.
Yes, she has. So she's been busy
behind the scenes.
So happy to hear from you, Dee, and thank you for joining us today. Today, as you could tell by the tenor of the music,
she heard Christmas.
She's
like, I'm in.
Is our Christmas episodes. We're going to talk about some of our favorite Christmas episodes. But before we get to that, it's time for announcements.
And a question.
And a question?
Didn't you have a question?
Did I have a question?
You did have a question.
Remind me what the question is?
It was in regards to a Christmas movie.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the episode. So this is separate.
These are all our announcements.
Is above and below.
There's too many things to talk about.
Well, that's that's why we're always tangenting, Tanya. That's why we always wander around. But anyway, to let everybody know, when you're hearing this, it's a couple weeks away from when we release this particular episode, but coming up is going to be a huge interview for us. We are having the Hillywood Show.
Woo!
They will be not in studio, but they'll be on the phone. YouTube channel parodyists extraordinaire, sisters Hannah and Hilly Hindi, say that 5 times fast, will be interviewed by us, by me. Oh, my God, I got to have my A game for that one.
You're going to have to watch lots and lots of their parodies.
Yeah, and we're going to be unwrapping that one for Christmas. That is going to be broadcast right around the 27th. So it's going to be our last podcast of 2017, and we're going out with a bang. We're going to
Absolutely. Oh, my God, I'm so excited.
So am I. Sherry, when you landed this one, you were like giddy as a schoolgirl.
I really was.
I mean, it was
really
awesome.
I'm like texting my Crest going, call me right now. I'm going to tell you, call me right now.
I really am excited. I'm looking forard to having a talk with these girls.
I just love watching some of their parodies just over and over and over again. And
the
dancing
production
along with
value,
it.
the sheer production value has just increased exponentially for them. So that's going to be a big one. That's coming up. And so we're setting the standards now. This is where you're going to expect your monkey business to go. We're having some fun and just can't wait for what's going to happen in the new year. So that's happening. Hillywood coming out on December 27th. It's going to be the last Monkey Business podcast for 2017, and we're going out in style.
Woo, with a bang.
With the Hindi sisters from Hillywood. Look them up on YouTube. Get familiar with their stuff before you can get a chance to talk to them, and
then send us questions.
And send us questions. So if you're reviewing them, and it's before when were we recording that one? It's the 10th. We're recording December 10th.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is being aired on the 13th, so never mind.
Don't send us any questions.
We already did it, and it was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
I can't believe they said that.
The magic of radio.
You should have checked our Facebook page by this point.
Yes.
I would have told you exactly what you needed to have done.
Absolutely.
We'll put out a Facebook post saying this is what's going to happen.
This is why we have Sherry to organize
exactly. Seriously, without Sherry, we would be like, seriously, it would still be tangents and digressions and side quests and whatnot. And if you love us, follow us on Facebook. Please, we implore you. Big shout out to our usual sponsors, Knox and Selena's at the Village Gate Mall. These guys have been having our back for years now, and so we want to make sure that you have theirs as well. And we've got our Patreon live now. On patreon.com, look for FC3 ROC. If you like what we do and you want to support us and you want to help us get a little bit bigger and keep going and bringing great stuff to you, then support us and get a subscription or make a donation on Patreon. Again, FC3 ROC is what to look for. And if you're really adventurous and you want to really get behind and be a backer of the show and maybe advertise with us and get some really great benefits, you can sponsor us. And to do that, you'll email sponsorships at fc3roc.com, and we'll get in touch and get that conversation going with you. So there you go. That's all the business at hand. So now let's jingle some bells and talk about our favorite Christmas episodes.
Why did I not bring jingle bells in?
I don't know. I don't know. That's
swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. Strike one on Tanya.
Oh, jeez.
So Christmas is that season where everything kind of just comes to fruition. It's the snow, the decorations, the carolers, all of the myth and the mythology behind it, all of the traditions and everything. And a lot of TV shows and movies have gone hand in hand with joining in the season. So, I mean, you've got, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is one that comes to mind. I think, are we talking about that one at all later? Never mind. I'm just going to mention it, Fry. Now,
I don't know if that was on our list.
What is the big question that we wanted to start things off with? It was about a particular movie, right?
Yes.
Whether or not it actually qualified as a Christmas movie. And that movie is the Bruce Willis action movie, Die Hard. Now, Sherry said it best, and I've seen this before. There are two kinds of people. When asked if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, there are two kinds of people. There's the people who say yes and the people who are wrong. So, and my buddy Andy has said on several occasions to me, he goes, it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from the Nakatomi Plaza. That's basically like the Times Square ball dropping at New Year's. It's Christmas now that we've seen Alan Rickman make that drop. And
we miss you, Alan Rickman.
And so we're moving along, and we do. We miss Alan Rickman a lot. So we're going to go around the room, and Deanna, you're going to be next, but I'm going to go first to Tanya. And I prepared her when we were getting ready to start recording. She was like, no, don't come to me first. I don't know what I'm talking about. But really, she's proven time and time again she does.
It depends on the moment in time.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying into it. I think you're a lot better at it than you give yourself credit for.
No.
So at least throw something out there we can talk about. What's a Christmas episode that has caught your attention over the years?
Well, I watch a lot of different TV shows, and it just like they blend one into the other with different Christmas episodes. One of the shows that I totally binged over the summer was NCIS, and so of course the Christmas special with Tony DiNozzo and things like that. And I just didn't have a chance to go back and watch it, but when I saw the list of everything that people were going to watch, I'm like, well, I'll watch an X-Files episode, or I'll watch this, or I'll watch this. And then I realized that everyone was watching a whole bunch of different stuff. So I'm like, I'll just go back and rewatch one of the episodes that someone else is already watching. So Sybil mentioned that she was going to watch Leverage's The Ho 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 Job, and she was going to watch Supernatural's A Very Supernatural Christmas. So, of course, I went to go back and watch Leverage's The Ho Ho Job and
Ho-Hoba?
Ho-Hoba, whatever.
And that's season 3, episode 14, which is only a few episodes before the Rashomon Job that we've book clubbed before in the past.
And I found that it was off Netflix last night, so I'm like,
yes, Leverage has left Netflix.
I was a little devastated.
Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that a couple weeks ago, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually, because my daughter Juliana has gotten big into Leverage, and she was very upset that it was leaving.
Did she get it for her birthday?
She's going to. Something got hung up, but I did order it on Amazon, so she's going to have the whole collection.
But I pulled it up on the fandom Leverage Wikipedia or whatever, and it's such a great episode because it's just talking about how the team will restore Santa's good name by slipping into the mall and helping him out to. Then they run into the group that has Will Wheaton in it again, and they're just all the little trivias that happen in it, such as there was an EMP gun in regards to Star Trek's The Next Generation, and something hits Lucille, and Will Wheaton was on the Star Trek, so they make those little references and things
Can I make
like
the
that.
offhand, my offhand observation that Will Wheaton has become one of the greatest character actors of our generation?
I agree.
He's popping up everywhere again. I love to see the fact that he's been busy and he's working again because he disappeared for a little while. And now he's got Geek and Sundry, and he's got the books that he's written, which I've read a couple of them. Dancing Barefoot, I think, is
quite a
one.
bit on The Big Bang Theory as Sheldon's foil.
Yeah. As Will Wheaton, not just as a separate character.
Will Wheaton.
Oh my God!
Oh, that is amazing to watch that.
Hearing
play
him
out.
read Red Shirts.
Yes.
Yes.
He,
Oh, my goodness.
He read John Scalzi's Red Shirts.
For Audible?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
It was
Oh my
wonderful.
God.
He's so good.
Amazing.
I got to track that down now,
Yeah.
definitely, now that you mentioned it. So, I mean, seriously, Will Wheaton, one of the greatest character actors of our current generation. And I'm loving it. And I feel great to be able to say that, too. So we've got the ho-ho-ho job. Ho-ho-ho job. Hello, my name is Christopher, and I talk for a living.
Also, another person who I love that was in it was Dave Foley.
Yes. Yeah.
He was
From Kids in the Hall way back in the day.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I love the ending of it when they give them the presents, all
Yes.
of them, like Parker and everybody, how the look on their faces.
Yeah, because they get exactly what they were that they love. So
My favorite. How did you know?
I know. So not to do any spoilers, but
I remember that.
Well, I didn't say what it was.
No, I mean, but you know what? This was aired December 12th, 2010. So this was 7 years ago. So at this point,
Statute of limitations for
I think
spoilage
spoilers
is a
or
year.
whatever. But it's funny because I'm like, okay, when did the iPhone 7 come out? Just now? Or just last year or whatever, and they're making reference to version 7 when he's like only has version 5. So I'm just like going back to look at it now, and I'm just like, oh, see, now the little Easter eggs are hitting me. Now they hit me well.
No, you can't have Easter eggs hitting you during a Christmas special.
They're Christmas eggs.
There you go, Christmas eggs.
Oh,
Cadbury
man.
Christmas eggs. Hey, there's an idea.
Well, they do have
Halloween
those.
ones?
They had autumn ones or Halloween ones. They don't taste as good as the regular Easter Cadbury eggs.
It's the different dye in them. Taste
Would
different.
The
it's
Christmas
It's
ones
the green
be filled
dye
with
doesn't
tinsel?
taste as good as
There
the
you
yellow.
go.
yeah. There is a different taste to it, but oh well. So that was the first one, and that's definitely a shout out to Sybil in regards to the leverage ho 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 job, and we wish her lots of love because she's not feeling good.
Yeah,
she has no voice.
she couldn't
but
join
I have
us
enough
today.
voice for the two of us.
There you go. See, let's look at it that way. The
Why are
positives
you
of things.
laughing?
Something totally unrelated.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing adjacent to you.
Yeah, because he's not with me because I wasn't laughing at
I'm
that
not
point.
laughing at you, Tanya. I'm laughing because of you.
I like that one.
You like that?
I'm thefting that
Okay,
one.
you broke John.
Ah, poor Ton. Hey, Dee,
Hey, Chris.
what was
He's
your
an ass.
contribution to this little conversation?
I had two. The first one is The Grinch.
Okay, classic. Let's go with the classic.
I am
Mr.
very
Grinch.
cool
Thorough rate.
when it comes to holiday specials. And The Grinch, it's just, for me, Christmas doesn't start until I see The Grinch and Charlie Brown.
Yes.
Okay.
That's, that usually kicks me into Christmas gear.
Yep.
But it's just,
I
it's
was
just
in a Charlie Brown's Christmas when I was in grade school.
Nice. I think we all were at
I
one
was
point or another.
Linus.
That's a traditional. Did you have the blanket and everything?
I did.
Nice.
It's funny. I'm still Charlie Brown.
Ever kick that football, Chris?
Never.
Never kicked the foot. Poor Chris has not kicked the football. So
Sorry.
we got the Grinch and Charlie Brown. Are those your two?
Third one that I had is A Christmas Carol. Any version.
Right.
All versions.
Right.
And to me, I love to watch it Christmas Eve. It's it's one of those things
Yeah.
that,
You know, I'll be honest. I've avoided A Christmas Carol for a few years now. I don't know why, but whenever I've seen it on, I've surfed past it, or
Which one?
Well, if I see
I
Scrooge.
watch a Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Well, there's that. To me, I don't know.
Scrooged.
Scrooge is a great
yes.
one with Bill Murray.
Blackadder Christmas
Getting
Carol.
his butt
okay.
kicked.
The Blackadder, that one. I don't know what it is, but it just something about it. It not turned me off, but it's like something about it just kept me at
The
arm's
Patrick
length.
Stewart version.
That's
is
amazing.
my
Goodness.
favorite.
I have not seen it yet, so you know
You
what?
need to
I
see
think
it,
this
Chris.
year I'm going to do that. On Christmas
you
Eve, I'm
have
going to
to.
watch
You have to.
Patrick Stewart's Christmas Carol.
It's
excellent.
I've actually read A Christmas Carol, and I think it is the most just perfect to the
On the
actual
mark.
story. I mean, like you were talking, Chris, you were talking
About the details of the actual movie where they put ink on his hands because he's drawing, he's writing with a quill.
Okay.
And ink, an inkwell. Little itty bitty details like that through the whole movie. If you pay attention, it's like perfect.
It'll charm the dickens off you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Schwartz is here. The captain of all puns. I think we're actually going to do.
Rosenblatt, why?
We're going to do in the corporate structure. We're going to add a division of bad puns and just make Rob the director at this
Oh
point.
God.
The
He's
pressure's
already
on now.
there.
Is that where the interns go when they've been bad?
That's it. That's
That's just
punishment.
that's going to be the
wrong.
punishment. You're going to work for Rob for a couple of months.
Punishment.
The pawn. Oh my God.
And Sherry, you said it. So,
I know.
How do I get this back on track? Never mind. It's too late. It's too late.
So, Deanna, which is your favorite?
Eyes are up.
My favorite,
Yes, which was your favorite of the Christmas
I would
Carol?
say The Grinch. I mean,
Okay.
as a kid, I enjoyed it because you kind of see, somebody learn the true meaning of Christmas. And as an adult, every time they say "who," you get to take a drink, so it's a great chance to get hammered.
Right, that's what I said. Are you drinking every time they say Cindy Lou, Whoville?
Actually, on our way out today, we were talking about the Grinch, and I never realized it was Boris Karloff who played the Grinch.
Oh, really?
Never
And
realized
the
it.
narration.
Yeah, never realized it.
Yeah.
And the one who sang the song
The voice of Tony the
was the
Tiger.
voice of Tony the Tiger.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. That's as
Oh,
much as that song I can actually do.
And can I tell you guys a little secret?
Tell me a little secret, Sherry.
My mother-in-law is a who.
She's a who?
My mother's name is Cindy Lou.
Oh, man.
Cindy Lou who?
Cindy Lou
And
who?
she sounds like she's about to.
She got
She
the
has
high-pitched voice?
High-pitched, soft voice. Yep.
That's
Poor
adorable. Yeah, we're picking on Nana. Sorry, Nana. If you're listening to us, we do it with love.
We do it to her face.
Okay. Well, then we do it to your face with love. So
She'll probably give you the bird.
there you go. It's all good.
It has to be great because it's a Chuck Jones.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those
a
are the
Scream's
cartoons
classic.
that are like
Right.
Yeah.
Chuck Jones.
Funny thing that when I was looking up stuff about this, the lyrics to the song, the Fahu Forze song, it was meant to kind of sound like it was church Latin.
Okay.
And after it came out, the studio kept receiving letters from people asking for the translation, thinking it really was Latin.
Wow. That's awesome. That is awesome. Now, Charlie Brown Christmas, the poor tree, and
The magic of the warmth and the love and the blanket.
oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it sad that I haven't actually seen it?
Oh, we got to fix that, sweetie.
That's actually that's because we're bad parents.
At least you can admit
she
to
was
it.
already in bed.
The first
wasn't
step is
cool
admission of the problem. Once you admit that there's a problem, then you can fix it.
I'm sorry, but Charlie Brown has been forever tainted because of the movie Trick or Treat.
No, you're gonna have to help me out with that one.
It was the scene. The father is burying a body in the backyard. The kid, his son, is up in the window looking down on him. Dad, what are you doing? Go back in the house. I don't want to. Go watch Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's an asshole.
Oh God!
And now, whenever I think of Charlie Brown, I'm sorry.
It's the first thing you think of, isn't it?
And I can't help it because poor Charlie Brown.
It's well,
The
you
guy
know,
just couldn't
that
catch a
poor
break.
blockhead has been through a lot over the years. He really has.
The man just couldn't
I'm
catch a break.
surprised
know the Charlie
that he
Brown
hasn't
song.
thrown his back out yet.
With the way he swings when he kicks,
goodness.
tries to kick the
because
football.
he tries to kick the football.
Yeah.
That Lucy. Ugh.
Oh my God.
She's mean.
Picking on me.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Who's
Billy.
next?
Billy's next.
Okay.
Give me some love on the Christmas.
1974 is the year without a Santa Claus.
Okay.
That's because that
a
was
good
the year I
classic.
was
Rankin
born.
Bass.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
The original Trinity were already mentioned: Grinch, Charlie Brown, and
A
my-
Christmas Carol?
Yes, thank you. But there were so many great Christmas specials during the era where I was growing up in the 70s. You had the one with Burgermeister Meisterburger,
Mr. Heatmiser.
Mr. Frosty the Snowman. But Year Without a Santa Claus is the one with Heat Miser and Snow Miser.
Is that the one where you put one foot in front
of the other? Yeah.
Once again,
I'm
nothing I've
Mr.
seen.
Heat
Yes, you
Miser.
have.
I'm
Not in a
Mr.
long time,
Maybe
then,
not
'cause
in a
I
long
don't
time. We'll have to fix
remember
that.
It never snows in Southtown.
You know, that's the one where you find out Santa Claus is a wimp. He wakes up with a cold somewhere between Thanksgiving and I don't think I can do Christmas this year.
Oh no!
Eat.
So,
No one wants a thin Santa Claus.
oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Rudolph, I think.
Rudolph one. Yeah.
Okay.
But Shirley Booth is the voice of Mrs. Claus.
Uh-huh.
She calls her two main elves Jingle Bells and Jangle Bells into
Jingle and
action
Jangle, yeah.
to go find kids to prove to Santa that kids do still believe in Christmas. And they wind up in a small town America, where lots of kids don't believe in Santa, but Iggy does. And Iggy takes in Jingle Bells and Jangle Bells and their quote-unquote dog, who is actually a reindeer, who winds up being sick because it's too warm
Oh,
in somewhere in America, and winds up in the dog pound. So
Things
Santa
go
has
from
to go.
bad to worse.
Santa has to go rescue him, and there's a deal made between Mother Nature and their two kids, Snow Miser and Heat Miser. And I just love that. I love the music in it. I
Yeah.
love the characters. I love Mrs. Claus with Shirley Booth, who at the time had a sitcom. Well, before then, had a sitcom called Hazel.
were
The
the
character actresses.
Who were the voices for Heat Miser and Snow Miser?
Dick Shawn and George S. Irving.
Right.
And most people don't remember in 2006 there was a live action remake
Oh, I'm seeing
with
that on the screen.
Delta Burke as Mrs. Claus and John Goodman as Santa Claus.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I remember comedian Eddie Griffith was one of the Jingles or Jangles.
All right, I can
And
see
Chris
that.
Kattan was an added character. He was an evil elf that wasn't in the animated version. He was Sparky.
Because that's Chris Kattan.
Yeah.
And that's, seriously.
And that's the last time he worked, I believe. But
His career ended at that
Yeah.
point.
Didn't the Misers like have songs or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I was singing one of them.
That's
Yes.
that's the most. That's everybody's
because-
favorite part of that special, and almost the only thing people remember
Well,
from
because
it.
didn't one of them like not know how to walk because they never got out of the chair or something? Because that's why it was
I
like,
think that was a different
No.
or that was because that was like put one foot in
Santa
front
Claus
of the
Coming
other.
to Town.
That was yeah.
Is that
Santa
what that
Claus
one?
Coming to town. Coming to town. Yeah.
That was
the
probably
moment-
also 1970 something that
But also,
I was
it
young.
was the
It's
second
one of the
time.
Rankin and Basses.
yeah.
Yeah.
The second time Mickey Rooney played Santa Claus because he was also Santa Claus in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Is that the one where the origin story of
Yes.
Santa Claus?
Yes.
With Kris Kringle.
Very
So
right.
I just love that special, and I watch it anytime it's on, and found it for free online and rewatched it the other night. And
The only reason I even remember that they
Organized
had a
racing.
song was because the junior team the junior roller derby team I was on. One of the girls was like, "What song should we do?" Because we were called the Frostbites, and they're like, "Let's do the Miser song," and I'm like,
Da-dum-tsh.
I don't understand.
Billy will find it before
That
the
was
end
when
of
I knew I
the
was
show.
in trouble watching Batman and Robin when Mr. Freeze broke out into the Cold Miser song. I was like,
And strangely enough, I've been binge watching the first season of Veronica Mars lately.
Okay.
and
Great
just
show.
came across the last episode my wife and I watched was Friday night. It was the Christmas episode, just by coincidence, like 12 episodes in. And at one point, the main characters are watching Mr. Heat Miser and Mr. Snow Miser they're watching that
Doing their
special. I go, okay, I got to mention it. Veronica Mars is an excellent show if you haven't
It is.
watched it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful show.
And watch The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Wow.
Producer Sherry,
Yes.
you're next.
Okay. Well, to me, this is the best special ever.
Uh-huh.
Best Christmas special ever, and that's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
That's your thing.
That's
Emmett Otter's your jam.
It
Oh
has
my
been-
God, I remember that.
It has been my favorite Christmas special for 40 years.
Yes.
To watch that all the time.
Yes, we've always owned that in some form or another. And it's amazing. The music, and it's Paul Williams music, and I always love his stuff.
Not Paul Anka.
Not Paul Anka.
We had this conversation the other night. It's Paul
No.
Williams.
Paul Williams.
Little short guy,
Yes,
blonde hair.
yes.
Yeah, great songwriter.
Absolutely. And and I learned, because I was trying to get ready for this, I learned some really interesting things about it.
Fire away.
Things like this was kind of like Jim Henson's trial run. If this would work, then he could make the Muppet movie.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this was his prototype in essence.
Yes, because it was
His
short.
proof of
It's only an
concept.
hour long.
Uh-huh.
And that it was the first time they had ever built full sets with floors and everything, and had these huge panoramics. And I mean, they built a 55-foot long river that was 10 feet across, and the rowboat where they're rowing, and it was the first time they had ever used radio controlled puppet effects, and they used the regular hand puppets, they used marionettes, and they used black theater technique, which is really cool. That black theater technique is having somebody dressed all in black against a black background
Okay.
and manipulating the puppet, and if you use black velvet on black velvet, you lose
You lose the performer.
the performer.
It's before green screen.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's really cool, and it was, and that wasn't used it was the first time Jim Henson had used that technique. It's actually a Japanese technique.
Right.
And it's been for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Gotcha.
But I love the music, and as I pointed out to a couple of you, as a lot of people know, at Fair, my fair name was Otter for a number of years.
Your spirit animal.
My spirit animal is an otter. I collect otters. My derby name is Otter Limits. Loved otters for I don't know how long. Until I was doing this write-up, it never clicked that maybe...
I was wondering if you were going to throw yourself under the bus.
Yeah, I said I
wasn't. I was going to.
Yeah, seriously. It was going to be a race between the Chris's to see if we were going to make who's going to make a reference to it.
Because I mentioned this the other night. You're going, oh, yeah, we're talking about... I'm like,
oh, that's a thing. We're talking about that.
That's just utterly ridiculous.
That is.
Utterly insane.
Yep. But so, yeah, it never clicked that maybe the reason I love otters so much is because of Emmett.
Yep. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
I'm a big fan of Stephen First.
Okay, there was an obscure one.
Animal House?
Animal House.
I have the wrong guy.
No,
you are correct.
Stephen First, who also played Veer in Babylon 5.
He Flounder. I was wrong.
Flounder, not Otter.
Otter was
one of the other kids.
Otter was Mozart, wasn't he?
No, that was Pinto.
Oh, it was Pinto.
That was Tom Hulse was Pinto.
Yeah, Pinto. Otter was one of the senior
Why
guys.
Pinto?
Was Matheson?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, I think Tim Matheson.
He was Boone.
No,
Peter Riegert was
Peter
Boone.
Riegert.
I need to see this movie too.
We're gonna have to not a book club Animal House someday.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Once again, movie I need to see.
I have it on DVD.
That's
Brother
Matheson
D-Day
was Eric Stratton, Rush chairman, and he was damn glad to meet you.
And he was damn glad to meet you.
I need to make a list of movies that you guys need to make me see.
It's a never-ending list.
It is.
We're gonna have a movie fest.
Has she seen Slapshot?
I haven't seen Slapshot.
No.
Slapshot seen
The
seen many
greatest
times.
hockey movie and possibly comedy ever.
I've got two of the Hanson brothers at the panel right next to me.
It was actually filmed partly in Utica.
Oh yes, I remember hearing
In our
that piece of
area,
trivia.
In our area.
Yeah.
Wait,
and we know people that were actually
Is that the one?
in it.
Is that
Yes.
the one that Grandpa Sammy was in the crowd?
Yes.
My
Paul
father
Newman
was in
the
the
star.
crowd.
Nice.
And one of the
That's
Hanson
So now
brothers-
we do a 6 Degrees of Mark Shepard again. We have a
No.
way in. We have a way in because your dad was in a movie.
and one Dave Hanson.
We got
the
Paul
only-
Newman locked up right there.
And Dave Hanson,
Give
the
me
only
a-
actual Hanson brother, still resides in Pittsburgh to this day.
Give me advance warning if we're playing 6 Degrees of something so I
Are
can
you sick that day?
research all. Well, yeah, one, because I can
Somewhere
be
in
sick that-
2018, we're going to do a 6 Degrees of
Someone.
Mick Fleetwood. And
Deanna, you need to help me with that.
what? The Fleetwood Mac fan just said she needs help.
No. Well, it depends on which the reference is. So,
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
All
no.
right. Well, Mick Fleetwood and Star Trek. So now have some fun. On your way.
And Stevie Nicks was in American Horror Story,
Yes,
so
she
you
was.
got that connection.
There you go.
spread
See?
Deanna,
out.
please work on it for me because they're much faster than I
You didn't know
am.
about those?
Mick Fleetwood was an interview on the
I knew
British
about
Top Gear.
Stevie Nicks
So
being
that
in
Right.
connects him to
American
pretty
Horror
much
Story.
every living celebrity
No
known
one
to
knew about
man.
That's it.
Mick Fleetwood.
No.
You didn't know that?
What?
That he was in Star Trek?
No.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, we're having some fun.
there's your
Leave
ho
me
ho ho.
alone!
We're having some fun.
That is a Christmas present. Go
All
look
right,
for
to
it.
put this wobbly train back on the track, Zach.
Well,
What was your selection for this topic?
Well, the first I have to say for me, in the reference to classic and favorite Christmas movies, the end-all be-all, in my opinion, A Christmas Story.
Oh, great movie.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Darren McGavin is just phenomenal in everything, but on Christmas they do the 24 hours of A Christmas Story on TNT?
Yeah,
or
Something like
Yeah.
that.
We
Every-
met one of the
everybody.
actors.
Yeah, and everybody watches it.
Right.
You can't deny it. But last night I watched a bunch of different Christmas ones. How the Ghost Stole Christmas from the X-Files.
Okay.
Mainly because it was Ed Asner playing a murderous ghost.
That's awesome.
That's always a good thing.
And Lily Tomlin playing his murderous ghost wife.
That's really awesome.
I'll watch anything with Lily
Lily
Tomlin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The old school Avengers, the Too Many Christmas Trees, which was
Okay.
very,
We've
very
talked about that one.
interesting.
Is it on here?
Or made
Yeah.
references
Yes,
to it at least.
We've got it.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
I
Yeah,
have some
it's on the
trivia
sheet.
about that. I have some trivia about
let's-
that.
Go for it. Let's hear some
Okay.
trivia.
Sure.
When Emma arrives at Steed's apartment, she reads some of the Christmas cards he's received. She notes that one is from Fort Knox, opens it, and reads, "Best wishes for the future, Kathy." Steed responds, "Mrs. Gale, how nice of her to remember me. What could she be doing in Fort Knox?" This is a reference to Honor Blackman, who quit her part as Kathy Gale in this series to appear as Pussy Galore in Goldfinger, which involved a scheme to make the gold held at Fort Knox radioactive and valueless.
Gotcha. Okay.
I thought that was awesome.
That I didn't even pick up on.
So we're going to backtrack real quick. I just want to interrupt real fast on this. The Avengers that we're talking about is the British
spy series
from
early to mid 60s.
Yes, not the Marvel comic heroes.
No.
All right.
John Steed was not horsing around in that.
Oh,
God, stop it!
Hey.
Do we need duct tape? I think we need duct tape now.
Nice.
He just needs to be banished for a little while.
And on that, I also caught the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It Never Snows in Sunnydale. Was it season 3, episode 10? Amends.
Amends. Yeah.
She's got trivia
right
for that
there on
one
the
also.
sheet that has been slid right by me. But yes, that one. And finally, because I think Chris, you posted it in the forum about what to watch, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Right, which I was going to talk about a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll just lay the groundwork for that one.
Sounds good.
I caught that one last night as well.
Okay.
There's so many, but like I said, for me, it's really A Christmas Story is the classic, the heartwarming one.
Fragile.
And going back to Slapshot, it sadly ruined part of my childhood when Ralphie's mom was topless in bed with Paul Newman.
That's right.
So there's a good connection.
Once I realized that it was Ralphie's mom, it was
Oh my God.
Deanna just picked up on that.
I did not see that coming.
Well, yeah, because it was off screen when it happened.
I never made connections, so you know.
Yeah. Well, no. There's another thing now is we can do 6 degrees of Zach's ruined childhood.
Yes,
I'm not playing.
And thanks to really because we have Paul Newman and Darren McGavin.
Yeah.
I mean, we're set. I can.
Hey, you want to know how I ruined our childhood?
Tell me.
Oh, God.
I randomly send her pictures of Anthony Stewart Head dressed as Frankenfurter.
Oh, excellent.
From
Excellent.
It hurts her brain.
It hurts. It's so painful.
There's not enough brain bleach in the world for that one. I know. I get it.
Especially when you know him as Giles.
He looks awesome in that.
That's how you can. You know what? There are many occasions where you can tell a lot about a particular actor based on some of the cameo parts or offhand stuff that they do. And my example for that is Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. This young man is fearless, and I'll explain why. He showed up on Lip Sync Battle, and he was doing Rihanna's Umbrella, dressed as Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay,
nice.
with the lace outfit and everything, and he did not hesitate at all. There was no, look at me, I'm funny, I'm a joke. No, he was, this is my costume for this particular event. Let's rock.
Oh yeah, he was like so right on with it.
Heath Ledger as the Joker in Dark Knight Returns. Or Dark Knight Rises, whatever the hell it was.
Dark Knight.
It's the Dark Knight. Whatever the hell that second one was. And, you see actors, and then there's some
Have you ever seen
actresses as well.
Have you ever seen the movie Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything?
Julie Newmar.
Only bits and pieces of it. I've never watched the whole thing. And that's Patrick Stewart, isn't it?
Patrick
Oh, I've watched more of it. Yes.
No, Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze.
Wesley
Wesley Snipes
John
and John
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo. I've actually, I have watched that
As
whole thing.
drag queens.
Yes.
And no pun intended, they played it straight.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Patrick
were
Swayze
awesome.
Well,
nailed it.
also
He did.
Oh, my
He did.
God.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
With Hugo Weaving
Yes.
and Terrence Stamp in it. And so you see these moments, and boy, we are way off topic. But you see these
Merry
moments.
Christmas to us.
Yeah, this is our present. It's our present is hearing us what we like. Just how they approach these things, and like you said, playing it straight. And it's not to be funny. It's just they were in the role. They knew this what was going to look like, and that's when comedy's at its best. Is they're not picking on themselves. They're playing the character. They're giving it life. They're giving it breath. And just it's these hilarious situations. So anyway, fearlessness, and that's so Anthony Stewart Head dressed as Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's what started this whole tangent. We're going to come back around, and we're going to listen to Alana, poor Alana, going, "No, don't do that anymore. It's in my poor brain."
Oh, my goodness.
Tanya, find that for me, would you?
Oh,
I
God.
do just randomly send her photos.
Yep.
On her, I just text them to her.
Anthony Stewart Head as Tony Head as Frankenfurter.
Frankenfurter.
All right, so now Roberto,
Okay, first is one I don't think people can find a lot because it's very obscure. It was the Galactus meets Rudolph special, where Galactus, the spaceways are cloudy, Rudolph. To guide you to a planet.
Shut his microphone off. Just shut it off. It's safer for everybody at this point.
Are you turning off his microphone?
He's lost microphone privileges at this point.
What I'm looking at actually is Mystery Science Theater did one. They did a Mexican Santa Claus movie.
Oh, I do like that
This
one.
Just to describe the plot for you. It's Santa teams up with Merlin to fight the devil to save Christmas. And if you can get by the beginning where all the children of the world serenade Santa, you're in for some laughs. If you can't, that's a challenge. But that one's Adam West used to host the Turkey Day Marathon of MST3K, and they'd always debut a new one. And that one was just, it's got something for everybody. And now the one I won't bring up is Happy Life Day.
Oh, no.
I won't bring that one up.
No.
Has that one ever gotten a proper release or improper?
I don't think so, although somebody found a DVD of it recently at this table who will...
No. Oh, yeah. That's right. Forgot about that.
I didn't buy it.
Thank God.
I almost bought it.
Yes.
It's okay. I'll send you the link.
It's the ultimate gag gift right there.
I've got the link saved like 3 times on my computer because I've had it sent to me that many times.
Oh.
And, of course, I was, I'm, 4 years younger than you?
Something like that, yeah.
And so I was that much littler when it came out, so I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, so you were able to check your brain at the door on that one because
I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah. When did that one come out? Was it 79, 80?
What was it?
The Star Wars holiday special, Christmas special, the much maligned and for good reason. Yeah, D, seriously.
Take the shot.
1978.
1978. So it came out right after.
I was
Even
4.
Mark Hamill gets the willies when somebody brings that up on Twitter.
I was 6.
I think he goes into convulsions.
Like I said, I was 4, so it was good.
Yeah.
I was the target audience.
You are. You were exactly it.
Yep.
And once you hit 5, you're out of the audience.
But it was too late.
Yes,
I'd already seen it. So
B. Arthur was in it?
Yes.
She played Chewbacca without makeup.
Without makeup? Is that what you said?
Acmina?
Stop it.
Acmina?
Bad.
And if you want just one that's just sort of like good old-fashioned fun, the Lois and Clark Season's Greetings with the starts from the Jeffersons, Harry Heckelbaum.
Oh, I like
makes
that
the
one.
the
Yeah.
Atomic Space Rats. It makes everybody greedy. And it's just fun. It's just like old style, just,
But
comedy.
speaking, there are shows that are hard to find that shouldn't be. Lois and Clark being one of. I mean, they're all on DVD.
That's on our list,
You
too,
can
the
go
Lois and
to
Clark.
you can go to the library or buy the DVDs if you're. But like another show, and I was thinking about talking about this during this episode, and I guess I will now. Moonlighting.
Love that show.
Season 2, episode 10 is their Christmas episode.
I said that.
And it's amazing. It's hilarious, and it's basically the Christmas story. Miss DePesto finds a baby on her doorstep, or it's left in her apartment. The father is a gangster who was in witness protection who was murdered. His name was Joseph. Guess what the mother's name was, and is on the run from the gangsters?
Hazel.
It was Mary.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, Mary and Joseph
What a
left the
coincidence.
baby. And the 3 investigators who wind up helping David and Maddie, I think were Saul King, Bob King. There were 3 kings.
Ooh.
And it's just an excellent episode. If you can track down Moonlighting season 2, it's
God.
fantastic. It really is. It's Moonlighting was such a good show.
It was until they jumped the shark.
At least for the first 3 seasons.
When they decided to let the tension break and they brought the 2 mains together, that's when that show lost
there were
its steam.
so many
Although-
problems with that
Hold
show.
on. Deanna's
Dee?
got. Go ahead.
Although the episode where they brought them together, where
That was phenomenal.
they
That was-
slap the crap out of one another, is one of my all-time favorites.
that particular episode is excellent. It was after that the show went downhill.
Right.
But Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd hated each other.
Right.
Then she wound up pregnant and written off of most of a season.
Yeah.
Replaced by Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Right.
So the series had
a little
problems.
love for Curtis Armstrong. Come
The,
on.
the series
Metatron.
had problems after that,
Metatron.
but for about 2.5, 3 seasons,
Yeah.
that show was perfect.
Yep.
The Transformer? No, Metatron, not Megatron.
Not Megatron.
What?
The gun?
And when we were talking about when Monk was asking about movies that she needed to see, I recently picked up Better Off Dead.
Tell me again.
I recently picked up Better Off Dead.
That's the John Cusack movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Curtis Armstrong is in it.
Curtis Armstrong's in it, yeah.
6 Degrees of Curtis Armstrong next week.
Yay!
Tanya, you first.
I hate you all.
I can feel the Christmas hatred.
One Crazy Summer.
More John Cusack.
Yeah, more John Cusack.
Yeah.
And more Curtis Armstrong.
Wasn't
we
he in
go.
Con Air?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
He was
I win.
in Con Air, wasn't
No, John Cusack.
No, Billy Ray Armstrong. Wait a minute. No. Billy Joe. Never mind. Sorry, I went green to you there for a moment.
Good Lord.
All right.
Where are we at?
I don't know.
We lost.
Rob and Zach. Alana,
Hi.
give us some Christmas love in here.
Wow. She's not your kid whatsoever, is she? Okay, didn't think so.
Now, I've got a great
Someone
future
left her on our doorstep.
a great future Christmas episode for this particular podcast.
Okay.
A monkey and some mistletoe. Or a monkey girl in the mistletoe. That almost sounds like an Agatha Christie.
Oh, jeez. So the two I was bouncing between were the Eureka episode,
Okay.
Do You See What I See?
Uh-huh.
And the Danny Phantom episode, Fright Before Christmas.
Eureka is such a great show.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Eureka. I always, because it was unafraid to try something completely weird, and it was the first show. Fringe was really good at this, but it was the first show that was sci-fi craziness that something had consequences that remained. You know,
yeah.
It wasn't just the crazy thing of the week, like on Star Trek. They would solve it and everything would go back to normal. Time jumps or parallel universes, whatever. But Eureka was unafraid about, if this thing happened, it's going to change the whole show, and it would allow it to happen. And then that would be
And it stayed for episode after episode.
yeah,
after
and it would stay
episode.
until they found a way to fix it.
Yep.
So
And some things never got fixed.
and yes, and some things never got fixed, which was a Fringe was specialty. They were very good at that sort of thing.
I
So
like this episode because
tell me more about this episode in
Okay.
particular.
I love this episode because you get to see a bunch of different animation styles. Mm-hmm. Because what happens? The kids mess around and they turn the place into a story. Everyone in town, except for 3 characters, become animation because they got sucked into a storybook.
Because only in Eureka could that happen.
Yep.
And Eureka and its sister show, which we have already book clubbed, Warehouse 13. So
Now, is Eureka on Netflix?
I don't think so.
Don't think it is.
It
One
was.
It
season.
was, but I don't think it is
One
anymore.
season.
Just one season?
One
And I
season.
don't
Okay,
think it's on
who's got it
Amazon
on
Prime.
DVD that I can borrow?
I don't know, but I think we're just going to have
I
to.
believe you can check your local public library.
I'm sure I
Yes.
could.
But I don't think it's on Amazon either.
No?
Nope. No,
That's
because
a
I've
shame.
gone looking for it because
Yeah,
I really
have
want.
too,
I've
because
wanted to
I haven't seen
rewatch it.
Eureka in a while.
Have to
I
fix
haven't
that
seen it.
soon.
I wonder
a
if it might
great
be on
show.
Sci-Fi on Demand.
I don't know. I don't have.
That might be something to look at.
Look into. We'll have to figure that one out. Tell me a little bit more about Danny Phantom there, young lady. You were the one who brought him up.
Yes, I did.
And that's the animated feature. Was that
Yeah.
Disney XD or something like that, or
Something like-
Cartoon
something
Network?
like that. It's
Okay.
I think it's Cartoon Network.
Okay.
could be. I don't know. Maybe it was Nickelodeon. I think it was Nickelodeon.
Hold on.
One of the kids' shows.
It was one of those channels. It was one that I never saw in order, but I loved watching.
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon.
Tyler loved this show.
It was clever.
Okay, so the brief synopsis of it that I was given was when Danny destroys the only copy of A Ghostly Christmas Story, the book's author turns him into the main character of a new Yuletide tale, making Danny hate Christmas more than ever. And he already hated it to begin with.
So it's kind of like, is it kind of like a Scrooge type thing, like a Christmas Carol? So like,
Sort of, because yes, he does hate Christmas, and yes, he does learn his lesson in the end, but the funniest part is Sam, because you would think she just despises the holidays. She doesn't. It's like her favorite thing
Now,
ever.
who is Sam in this equation? Because I'm not as familiar with Danny Phantom as others.
Sam is one of his 2 best friends.
Okay, so she's
Goth girl.
a regular.
Goth girl.
Okay,
She's the
goth
goth
girl.
girl that hates the world, and it's
Okay.
just like...
So the goth girl that hates the world, and suddenly Christmas comes around, and she
loves
becomes all
Christmas.
She's not even
happy elf.
She doesn't even celebrate Christmas. She celebrates her family's, I believe, Jewish.
Uh-huh.
But she still loves the holidays.
Okay. Hey, that works.
So you get to see her be all cheerful about the holidays. There's like literally a character that she goes, "Happy Holidays" to, and they're like, "Oh God, it's the apocalypse." The whole thing rhymes. It's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much.
Very cool. Very cool. Dee, you got anything else for us?
No.
No?
You know, like I said, I'm kind of like Billy. I watched as a kid.
He sticks to the classics.
What I still watch now, and it's, you know, I see these new ones that come out, and they're not the same. They look forced. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. Just give me the old school holiday stuff, and I'm happy.
It almost feels like well, we have to put together a Christmas special because it's expected at this point. It's kind of like I'm getting off a lot of them. Is
right.
That,
you know,
okay.
They're trying to fix stuff that's not broken.
Yeah.
Just watch Rudolph and Charlie Brown and
you're good.
Right.
Santa
I mean,
Claus and...
you know, my mother still, you know, texts me, "Hey, did you know Charlie Brown is on tonight?" Or "Did you know Rudolph is on?" Or, you know, so even my parents prefer that over some of the new stuff.
Plus, Deanna, when we were kids, we waited all year for those specials. Nowadays, everything's available at any time.
Right.
This, you like circled your TV guide, you know, next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Popcorn was being made.
Yep.
It was special because usually it was on at 8 o'clock, and that was bedtime. So that was like a big privilege to, okay, you know, make sure your pajamas are on and you're ready for bed because once this is over, you're going to bed. But that was like, oh, you know, you couldn't wait for that. And I still feel that way now.
Yeah.
Because I can remember like decorating the Christmas tree while one of the specials is on and things like that, and just spending time.
Back to A Christmas Story. I saw that movie in the theater when it first came out.
Wow.
My parents took us to see it. And that is the movie. You know, when we go to my parents' house on Christmas Day, that's what's on. You're not putting anything else on until football comes on, and then that's different. But for most of the day, that's what's on the TV, and nobody dares switch the channel.
Yeah, we always now try to find some type of Christmas movie, something that we haven't seen, or something, even if it isn't Christmas, but something to watch together as a family after we're done opening presents or after dinner and things like that before everyone goes off to their 12 different things to play their electronics. And
Is that part of the appeal of the quote-unquote the Christmas special, no matter what the application is or the TV show or movie or whatever the case may be? Is that what it's intrinsic to that word tradition? You know, and Christmas is one of those holidays that is it's rife with tradition. It's rich with it. There's so much stuff going on, and it's happened over centuries worth of stuff, centuries of time. That, you know, having in this modern era that event, that thing that we can all gather around, is that kind of what the broad appeal of a Christmas special is?
Yeah, like even when I was living alone, I had lived alone in an apartment. I looked forward to that Friday or Saturday night before Christmas, where I would put on a special or Christmas music and wrap my presents.
Okay,
you know, and that was sort of like, it's time. I enjoyed it. So
what Christmas music?
Don't even ask. I have a collection of Christmas music that's well, nowadays, again, with the internet and satellite, but I have an unusual collection of Christmas music.
And the Adam Ezra Band is a part of it.
They haven't released a Christmas song that I'm aware of.
That doesn't matter, though. Just play them anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to have to help fix that.
No, but I mean, there's the Christmas rock and roll records that everybody knows that, you know, Bruce Springsteen and the Eagles, but I've got some odd stuff. But to be honest with you,
my grandmother's house, it was Johnny Mathis.
Yeah. That's okay. I still love the classics. The Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack is my favorite Christmas record, and actually the Beach Boys have a great Christmas record.
The Beach, you mentioned the Beach Boys. That was one of the first Christmas albums I remember growing up as a kid was the Beach Boys, because my mother is a huge Beach Boys fan. So that was in the house, and I hear that today, and I feel like I'm 5 years old again.
That's cool. Oh, yeah. See, that's part of the whole thing is feeling that way.
But I always remembered it as I got older. I really became to appreciate more Christmas in Hollis. The Run DMC.
Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens.
Oh boy,
I love that song
I
too.
love
But it's
that
one
you
that
can
you-
say something over here, and then all of a sudden Billy can just go like this. And,
That's part of his awesomeness.
I know.
that first Very Special Christmas record with the rock and roll band, that was a great album.
Okay.
That I highly recommend it. Red cover, Very Special Christmas.
Okay, Billy, then you can help me with this because
Okay.
I cannot. I've been racking my brain for like the past 10 minutes. Who did the song Father Christmas?
The Kinks.
Thank you. Could not.
Oh no,
could
no.
not.
Well, it depends. No, there's also the Greg Lake.
Greg Lake.
Yeah, the Greg Lake one.
Yeah.
It's the Kinks that I was
I
thinking
believe. Are you thinking? I believe in Father. Or are you thinking the one where Santa Claus got beat up and robbed?
That's the one.
That's the Kinks.
Yes.
And if you want
Are you
the
going to
most
find that for
depressing-
us?
You've never heard that one?
I have never
Christmas,
heard this.
Give
Okay,
us your money.
Hold on.
If you want the most depressing
That
Christmas
is an
song,
awesome song.
So while you're
Cold
looking for
Fairy
that,
Tale
can we
New
get
York.
back onto favorite Christmas episodes?
How about
I
you,
think we've
Christopher,
got
over there
other
across the table
people
from me,
here.
Mr. Producer
Okay,
Chris?
you're all
Because we're
looking
at
at
like
me.
2.
Well, traditionally, before hunting season, well, as archery season would start, we'd start watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
There you go.
And we would watch it at my friend Larry's house 24/7 until Christmas.
Jelly of the Month Club.
Yep. So obviously that one's very quotable.
Yes.
One I mentioned earlier on the way out was one, growing up, we had HBO. Rich Little.
Okay.
Oh my God. I remember
Retelling of Christmas story?
Yes, he did. He did a Christmas
That's what
Carol.
I thought with
as
all the different
characters.
Yeah.
And
One-man
he was
show.
Everyone.
And he was everyone.
Oh my God, I
which
remember that.
See, there you go. I got somebody remembering that, and that was hysterical. Obviously he doesn't have the best reputation now, but that's
Rich Little doesn't?
yeah.
For what? What, just being a
just-
jerk, or did he grab someone, or
I think
what?
it was pretty. I think it was just
All
his
of it.
attitude.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
That's new to me, too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. In this
'Cause
day
it
and
was-
age,
it
that's
flew-
common
it
now,
flew under the
unfortunately.
radar. Yeah, but I always thought that was hysterical. And then pretty much everything else everybody's mentioned, I've seen dozens of times. I used to work in a restaurant, and we would have Christmas music from October on through till after the New Year, and a lot of times I got to get up and sing with a band for it, which was great. So Christmas music, same thing. It's all over.
Good deal.
All over the spectrum.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go into any more because we've already mentioned them all. No, I did forget one.
What'd you forget?
One came up that when we first started talking about this was Gremlins.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because
That
everybody
is a
forgets about
Christmas
Gremlins
movie.
being a Christmas
And I
movie.
love Gremlins.
There's a couple of honorable mentions for this season, and like
Yeah.
A Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart.
Uh-huh.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before
Is that
Christmas.
a Halloween or is that
I think it's a little of
Christmas
both.
or is it both?
It's a
I
little of
consider it
both.
a Halloween movie.
Well,
The only acceptable Christmas movie to watch at Halloween.
oh, I see. There you go.
Yes.
The only acceptable Christmas movie
And it's
to watch at
acceptable to
Halloween.
watch
There you go. You've
all
heard it here
year.
first, kids.
Oh, and I saw It's a Wonderful Life on the big screen a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Very
local theater.
nice.
Oh, it was one of those Fathom Events ones, wasn't it?
No, it was Rome Theater.
Rome Built in a Day Theater. Wait a minute. No.
Black and white. Or
Okay,
color?
I'm going to be the bad guy.
Tell me.
I can't stand that movie.
No, I'm right
It's
there
wonderful.
with you.
I've seen it like once or twice, but it's not something
It's my
that
mother''s favorite movie of
I
all
can't
time.
watch it numerous times.
Wasn't it like originally made just to be some 2-bit movie just to play, and then
It just didn't do really well. when
didn't
it
do
first...
really well, and they started then.
But it's become the ultimate cult classic.
It went into public domain. Nobody
Yeah.
upped the rights, so it went into public domain really, really early. So it
Okay.
started. They could play it all the time, and they didn't have to pay anybody. So
Gotcha.
that's why it became big. It won one Academy Award,
For
Best Special Effects.
Really?
For the snow.
Okay.
Right, because it was a new technique for snow.
Yep.
Okay, I have a couple Christmas songs queued up here for our out cue, or just do you want to hear the Kinks song we talked about earlier?
We can do that. Yeah.
Would you like the
Before
Beach Boys'
we-
Little Saint Nick?
Yeah, before we let Chris take over for his.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Sweet.
let's hear the Kinks, and then I'll make my commentary, and then we can out this thing.
You've really never heard this, Tanya? Or have you never paid attention to the words?
Oh, I'm sure I've probably heard it, but I'm one that I don't know what people are talking about initially. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I have heard it now.
Okay, Santa Claus gets beat up and robbed.
I guess I just haven't really paid attention to the lyrics.
I want to know what the creepiest Christmas song is.
Creepiest Christmas
This
song?
may be it.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure if Marilyn Manson ever did a Christmas album, that would win.
What about that duet that everybody does?
Oh, the very rapey Christmas.
Oh, great.
God, I hate that song.
It's
the creepiest
it's cold
Christmas song.
outside. What's the name
Oh,
of it?
baby, it's cold.
Baby,
outside.
it's cold
Maybe it's
outside.
cool. Yeah, that one's bad.
It's
Yes.
the date rape Christmas song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you hear Dean Martin do it, you just have to laugh. Because, Dean is half in the bag when he's singing the song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you half in the bag right now?
I wish.
Are you drinking over there?
That would make my back feel a lot better right now.
Okay, Chris,
so is
tell
it
us
me?
about Doctor Who.
Yeah, because that's the
Because we
thing.
knew that this was waiting.
Well, that was it. That's the thing. When you hear me in the conversation, you know the Doctor Who references are not far behind, and that became part. We were making references to tradition earlier, and that's
Christmas special.
become one of theirs. Is the Doctor Who Christmas special? They didn't have it in the classic series, or maybe they would make references or something like that. But the new series will always have its season and then a Christmas special,
which has been released of the new Doctors
Yeah.
and some of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of great, and most of them will make references to Christmas. And there was the 11th Doctor one where it was a Christmas Carol of sorts, where he helps the guy, from his younger years look at a situation. But the one that really caught my attention always was the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Wasn't 13's Christmas episode the one with River Song?
12.
12?
Yeah,
12's.
12, but it really wasn't a Christmas episode
right,
per se.
Right, brain,
Yeah,
not
that's
here.
that's all right. That's all fine. But then in the next Christmas episode, it's coming up is going to have two Doctors, the first and the most recent last Doctor together, and they're going to regenerate together. It's going to be fun, very very cosmic. But no, the one that caught my attention the most, the one that I want to talk about, is the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe from season 7 with the 11th, with Matt Smith's Doctor, and I think it was just the overall the whimsical quality that it possessed, and there were some times where it felt like the episode was all over creation, much like our podcasts. But there was always this overwhelming.
The 11th Doctor is our spirit animal.
He really is. Yeah, Matt Smith's.
Uncoordinated cat.
Oh my God, he really is a 6-foot puppy. You just never knew where it was going to go. He just proper bonkers Doctor. Yes, Tanya's doing her pantomime of the inflatable guys you see in front of cell phone places.
No.
Which,
Ferengi.
yeah. So, but it all starts off Christmas Eve, 1938, and the woman who unfortunately becomes the widow. She comes to the aid of an injured spaceman angel. Okay, so Matt Smith with the helmet on backwards, and you know it's him because you recognize the voice. And she goes, she helps him out, and he goes, I will be there. I'll repay this kindness. All you have to do is make a wish. And that's it. That's the end of the moment, and it goes away. And he finds his way back to the TARDIS, and he's off on his adventures. And then Madge's life kind of unfolds, and her husband is killed during World War II. He was a pilot, and she's taking the children out to the countryside for a little break. She's going to break the news that their father is not coming home. The children are not aware that this has happened yet. And all of a sudden, there's the Doctor as the caretaker of the manor house that they are renting or staying at. And just how everything unfolds. And you know, because the Doctor is always up to something. And just how he's letting things kind of unfold as whimsically as possible. And I really don't think any of the other Doctors could have pulled this off. Maybe 12. Because especially in the later year, Peter Capaldi's Doctor, you see that soft spot that he hides underneath all of the, all of the pain and the anger and the grief. But I don't think 10 or 9 or any of the others could. Maybe 4 could have pulled this one off. Tom Baker's Doctor, I think, would have been lined up for this kind of a thing. But for me, it's what brought my favorite thing, which is Doctor Who, obviously, and combined it perfectly and married it perfectly with one of my favorite holidays, which is Christmas. And just seeing that whimsical, anything can happen, the wishes come true, and watching things unfold, and I loved that one. Of all the Christmas specials, that one's my favorite.
Stephen Moffat wanted it to be the most Christmassy Christmas special ever.
Well, I think he succeeded, and as much as there are many, many Moffat detractors out there, that I think he really did nail it with this one.
There's always the part of the sense of the loneliness of the character of the doctor, and I like the part about happy tears when banging on the door of Amy and Rory's. It's Carol.
Yes.
And that goes back like to the next doctor when Tennant's doctor stays for dinner.
Yes.
It's like he's just this lonely traveler, but at least he has this place to go.
He has that kind of grounds him.
Yeah.
You know, something, and soon to be grounding her to the adventures. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jodie Whittaker does with it. So that's my thing. I'm my tip of the hat to my favorite show.
What I love about this one is the fact that one of my favorite books growing up was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and that whole series.
The C.S. Lewis books. Yeah.
It was just, there were so many references to the point where they actually changed the little girl's name. She originally was named Lucy.
Oh, okay.
And then they went, okay, we're taking it pushing it a little
that's
too
the bridge
far.
too far that we were not going to recover from.
Yes.
So there you go. Merry Christmas, everybody. And it looks like we're going to wrap this one up, and we're coming back next week with an interview, and then Hollywood coming up on the horizon to end 2017 with. Outstanding. Love it. So this has been Monkey Business. So for Deanna and Alana and Zach, who's going to say something real quick.
Just real quick, I promised her I would. To our newest subscriber coming all the way from the foreign land of Ohio. Also a fellow Whovian. She loves it. Just, hi, Vonda. Thanks for subscribing.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Vonda,
Yay,
awesome.
Vonda.
Thank you so much. And we are looking forward to hearing from you, dear. So for Robin, for Zach, for Alana, for Deanna, for Chris, and for Sherry, for Tanya, for Billy, and myself, I am Chris. Merry Christmas. And thank you yet again for hanging out with us, the Monkey Business crew, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic Con, coming at you in 2018 on June 9th and 10th. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, love us on Patreon, and keep an ear out for what we've got coming next, because in the new year, it's going to get fun, as it hasn't been already. So thank you for everything, and we'll talk to you soon.